I was recently learning about the grace that our guardian angels give us, which actually goes on in the spiritual realm, in the realm that we ourselves cannot see. And I've always been kind of curious about my guardian angel, and I've had a relationship with my guardian angel to a certain extent. Like one time I asked my guardian angel to kill a roach for me because honestly they kind of terrify me, and within a few minutes later I came back and the roach was in that spot where I had seen it, dead. It just flipped over. And I do believe that that was my guardian angel that killed that roach for me, and I feel like it was just a proof of to have a little bit of faith in the little things, right? That way I can have faith in the larger things when asking for their help. I don't want to call my guardian angel an it, but yes, I feel like it was a opportunity to grow in my faith in the little things. That way I can also learn to have faith in the larger things when asking for my guardian angel's help. So I was listening to a story. No, I was learning about Padre Pio and how he has such an amazing relationship with his guardian angel. And I found it absolutely amazing when when they were sharing about Padre Pio's experiences with different guardian angels, not only his, but he could see other people's guardian angels as well, and understand kind of the way that they communicated. So he was sharing something amazing. Basically, our guardian angels communicate with all the other guardian angels of the people that we interact with. So if I interact with my neighbor, my guardian angel goes before me, before I greet my neighbor, and greets the guardian angel of my neighbor. And they kind of have their own interaction, their own conversation per se. They call them meetings where the soul where the guardian angels demonstrate in an instant the entire soul of the person that they help to protect. It showed their strengths, their weaknesses in virtues, what they were struggling with, what they really needed, what graces they were in need in, if they were in grace in good standing with the faith, or if they were in mortal sin. And this was only shown to the other guardian angel of the other person. So they were having their own meeting, and basically the intentions of these meetings was in order to share graces. So there was three ways that these meetings between the guardian angels could go. One was say that there's two people that are, say, in good standing in the faith. They are both somewhat in grace, and then one person needs, say, the virtue of hope. Say that they are going through a difficult time in their life right now and they really need the virtue of hope. And say that the other person has that virtue of hope and they are in need of something different. Mm, say that they are in need of patience. So then the person that is in need of hope and the person that is in need of patience, say that they wave to each other on the road because they recognize each other and they're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" So from that simple small interaction, those two guardian angels already met up and were exchanging graces in a certain kind of way. So the guardian angel of the person that was in need of hope was trying to barter with the other guardian angel to see if they could grant some of the person's graces in order to share that hope with the person in need of the hope, simply from a, "Hey, how you doing?" And the person that was in need of that patience, their guardian angel was bartering with the other guardian angel in order to see if they had anything, any virtue that they could share in order to help the other person receive that grace of patience. And so in that small interaction, they already bartered graces basically. So both of the people, whether they recognize it or feeling different or not, have begun to receive a little bit more of that grace that they are so in need of in that moment. And there is the second way that it could go, which is basically say one person is in grace and one person is in mortal sin. And Padre Pio actually recounted one of these stories where there was this woman who had just gone out of confession. She had just been absolved of her sins and she was in full grace, right? And she was walking back to her home, and there was another person there was another man crossing that street that she kind of walked past. She didn't even greet him. They just kind of crossed eyes. You know how you sometimes see people by accident, you accidentally make some eye contact. So that's kind of what happened with them. She was walking one way and he was walking the other way, and they crossed eyes and they both continued to walk in their own directions. However, that man was about to go commit a mortal sin that he had already committed many times, whereas she was in full grace. So their souls were in completely opposing conditions. But their guardian angels met before that interaction, and the guardian angel of the man in mortal sin and about to go commit more mortal sin partnered with the guardian angel of that woman who was in complete grace in that moment. And in in an instant per se, the guardian angel of the woman that was in complete grace sent over like a lightning bolt to the guardian angel of the man that was in mortal sin. And there was a small opening in the soul of the man that was in mortal sin, and his guardian angel came with that lightning bolt and just stabbed it into his soul, basically like made him receive it in the soul, and he didn't per se recognize or feel anything different on a fully conscious level. But the angels work in the subconscious. Our guardian angels work in the subconscious. So uh within that small interaction, he did probably didn't even realize who he made eye contact with, nor did she. You just kind of look around, right? And the man eventually stopped in his tracks and kind of realized what he was about to do was, the word that they used was grotesque. So he realized it was simply not something that he wanted to do anymore, although he had done it a million times per se. And he stopped in his tracks and he went back to his own home. So, in those small interactions, our guardian angels can make huge things happen through grace, through the economy of grace per se. It's a whole different way of organization, a realm that we can't see with our eyes, but they have their own ways of bartering for the good and salvation of all of our souls. And the third way that that interaction could have gone was, say two people are both in mortal sin and both of their guardian angels are being deprived of that extra support of grace that they need, right? And they are still continuing to fight for the salvation of the souls that have been entrusted to their protection, and continuing to do their duties day and night at every opportunity. But say that these two people in mortal sin cross each other, basically what the guardian angels interaction might look like is more of sympathy for each other, basically more of consolation, kind of when you meet a friend that's also going through a lot while you're going through a lot. It's kind of like, yeah man, I see you, keep trying, and I'm also struggling, but I see you and keep trying, like compassion. So that's kind of what those interactions look like between those souls. And yeah, I thought that that was absolutely amazing, how we can share graces and impact someone else's life simply by looking at them. I thought that was absolutely amazing because we don't have to do anything on our part. And our guardian angels are sharing those graces already when they can be a benefit to others. And we can also reap so many benefits from the graces of others simply from them gazing upon us. And I thought that was beautiful. It's amazing how the virtue of charity works through the realms of our guardian angels as well. I actually had this pondering about how there was many saints, there has been many saints, where it was documented that whenever they would walk past certain places or people would be healed simply by them walking past, and no one knew that it was specifically because they walked past them and such, but it was documented that they were in fact healed simply from those people having been near them. And I always wondered how exactly that worked, but this made me have uh, per se a theory of how that might have worked. So perhaps they made eye contact, or simply from their proximity to them, their guardian angels were perhaps able to share such amazing graces because they were saints from that person in such grace to the people that needed it. And perhaps the guardian angel was even able to cause a healing or a conversion through that grace, through that massive grace that was shared with them, simply by that soul being nearby. And this also applies to saints like the Virgin Mary. Like, I don't want to say the high up saints, but the high up saints, like, So the Virgin Mary, I've also been learning a lot about her life, and apparently she would also heal a lot of people physically. It's recognized that Jesus healed a lot of people physically, but the Virgin Mary did as well. And I thought that was amazing. And sometimes she wouldn't even be, say, like praying over them or such. Sometimes she would just be helping them. She would offer them a gift. Say, if they were a poor person that was paralyzed and they needed food as well, say she gave them food. And sometimes they were also miraculously physically healed. And I thought that that was amazing. Perhaps it was because she had simply that amazing healing power because of her unity with Christ, or perhaps it was also an interaction between those guardian angels that her grace was so overflowing that the guardian angel was freely able to just shoot out large graces to all the other guardian angels that were around her that needed those reinforcing graces to help their souls that were in their charge of protection. And yeah, that's what I've been learning about guardian angels recently. And it has also changed the way that I have looked at interactions around me. Sometimes it's amazing to think about everything else that's going on beyond what we see simply in our daily life.